leftists in this country are more extreme than the Palestinian Authority and the people who support them in the West Bank. The people in the West Bank, like most of them, are against Hamas.
What's your thoughts on the situation in Israel and Gaza at the moment?
That's sad. Sadness is the only way I could speak about it. It's very sad for the innocent people there. It's very sad. They need to get rid of Hamas and be protected.
There's no easy answers, and I personally think it'll be very difficult to achieve peace in that area, certainly in my lifetime, perhaps other people's.
There's been just a sense across the country, well, where we are, and everywhere really, of just sadness and disbelief that this could happen, that it could be quite so brutal.
How do you feel about the civilian cost of Israel's response to Hamas?
Well, a couple of things I would say about that. Firstly, every single death in Gaza is the responsibility of Hamas. They launched a genocide, an attack. Genocide is a term that is being bandied about recklessly at the moment. Hamas launched an intended genocide on the 7th of October, and they have stated their intention to repeat it over and over again. And then with the response, when the response comes that they would have anticipated, they have used their civilians as human shields. So the responsibility for this falls fairly and squarely on the shoulders of Hamas. And what Israel is doing is what any country would do to defend its civilians. We also have to be, I think, very, very careful about the statistics that are put out because they come from Hamas. We know that all the Hamas terrorists who are killed are added to the list of casualties.
I just think there's a lot of misinformation, and that is what causes the most trouble, to be honest.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we've now heard that they are reporting that October 7th never happened. It was the Israelis that did all the murdering, which is absolute nonsense.
The people in the West Bank, like most of them, are against Hamas. And the fact that leftists in this country support, they want a one-state solution, which is a democratic state of two peoples. The thing that
it's quite a broad assumption, though.
It's their position.
It's actually, I don't believe that that's actually true. I believe that even that so many Palestinians want a two-state solution. I think, unfortunately, that even in the Fatah party, there's a lot of people who actually don't believe in the state of Israel. They don't want it to really exist.
Critics have said that there have been examples of potential collective punishment. We've seen the cut-off of fuel, electricity, water, food to Gaza, also the stopping of humanitarian trucks getting into Gaza across the Rafah border. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, I mean, we are here today for a march against anti-Semitism. And this is something that might have been triggered by what is going on in the Middle East, but that is no justification for it. This is about supporting the fight against anti-Semitism. It's the opportunity for Jewish people and their many friends, allies and supporters to express that solidarity and say, no, this is not what the UK is about. I suspect that everybody on this march supports Israel, understands the situation Israel is in, but this isn't a march in support of Israel. This is a march about standing up against anti-Semitism and nothing else.
And the pictures that come from Gaza are not strictly accurate by any means.
What do you mean by that?
They're put up pictures. They're given for camera. They're made up pictures.
There was one where a child was apparently being pulled out, had been buried under rubble. Her dress was beautifully pristine, her glasses were still on, and I think somebody had said that she'd been pulled out once before. It's this.
I don't know specifically about that, but I do know that on a whole, a lot of the pictures that we do see are reported from credible news sources, and we have seen, children, for example, have been pulled out.
I'm sure they have. The place is being to get to the tunnels where they are infiltrating Israel from. It's got to be.
But they forget the other side.
Yes.
What's going on, what's happened to Israeli people has not, it's just not there anymore. It was at the beginning and now it's all about the Palestinians.
You don't see both sides, truthfully.
I guess